Everybody, this is Andrew E. Guy. Welcome to another episode of the Ilirpodcast. I'm listening. I'm ready. It is a podcast that's dedicated for those who are on the go, whether you're traveling by land, air, or sea. This is me, Andrew E. Guy. I'm excited about today, as always, because we bring the guests, the experts, the subject matter experts, the thought leaders, and the entrepreneurs, and the people who are disrupting normalcy to transform the world and to make it a place that you want to live. So today, my guest is an amazing young lady. I'm talking amazing because she makes other people look amazing. She helps coaches become visible in the noisy world. Who am I talking about? Miss Lisa Simone Richards. She is a PR and visible strategist that helps coaches who want to get eyes on their business, get noticed and positioned in the right place. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to help me welcome to the Ilirpodcast show for the first time. Please help me welcome Miss Lisa Simone Richards. Lisa, say what's up to the people.
Hello, everyone. And Andrew, you just have the most incredible energy. Like, it's positive, it's upbeat. I'm so excited to be able to jam with you today.
I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited. There's so much to talk about, Lisa. So much to talk about. But really, though, I'm excited. There's some great things that are happening with you in your life. But I want to start off with just tell the people a little bit about what you do. I have a bio, but normally how we do on the show, we don't give them the bio right up front. Most shows, they just yap, the bio up front. And by the time the conversation is over, Lisa, nobody remember who they're talking to. So I like to drip the bio. I like to just interject, disrupt the conversation, say, wait a minute. You need to go and find this person because this is who you're talking to. So that's kind of how I give them introduction, but the bio, I just drip it as we go. But I would love for you to just introduce yourself to our audience so they can get to know, like, and I know they're going to trust you. Go ahead and tell them.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Lisa Simone Richards, and I'm a PR and visibility strategist. And honestly, what that means is I love to help coaches get seen online everywhere. So really, at the end of the day, I feel like some of us, especially in the entrepreneurial space, it's such a crowded market. There is so much noise. And what I see over and over again is people relying on social media. They're doing reels, they're doing stories, they're buying Facebook ads and possibly spending hundreds or thousands of dollars throwing them down the drain. Like I definitely have in the past. So what I love to do is open up people's eyes to the opportunity of earned media where they can get featured really powerfully, whether that's on television and magazines, on podcasts, different ways to show up as the expert that you are, but also do it in a way that doesn't actually cost you money. So this is what I've been on a mission for literally since I was 18 years old. I've been doing this since university in different areas and businesses. But that's what I love to do during the day. And when I'm not working on publicity, I love to be in the kitchen. I love to cook. This weekend, I tried a short ribs egg Benedict, made my hollandaise and made the poached eggs and everything. I'm an animal addict. So I have my two kitties, Peaches and Ginger, who I'm obsessed with. And you'll probably find me in a park petting everybody's dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Lisa Simone Richards have spoken. So that's what's happening. What I love about you, Lisa, you kind of give people a good rendition of the whole person. Because a lot of times out there in social media, a lot of people don't know who is behind that keyboard. A lot of people don't know who is really behind that camera. But you're saying, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I love to do, and this is how I can help you. I love it. Who are you? What do you do? Who you do it for? And why you do it? And why would you do it if no one paid you to do it? Absolutely love it. A series of questions that most people don't really know how to answer. But today, what I want to talk about, Lisa, I think the struggle for most people is that they're going into this routine. They're following the crowd, so to speak. They're like the salmon swimming upstream, and they really don't know what to do or where to go. So the pocket is empty, and at the end of the month, they have more month than they do have money. Why? Because they're trying to follow the trend of how to get visible. But what I want to focus on today is starting with one question. Are we not visible because we don't know what to do? Or are we not visible because we don't know how to pitch. What do you say about that?
I would say it's because people don't know how to do it. So you see a lot of the coaches, the gurus, the entrepreneurs that you follow and you see online, and it's like, wow, I wish I could be on TV show like that. I would love to be interviewed on Forbes. But there's no actual, it's kind of like, oh, well, that's for them though. They have publicists and a whole team behind them. So it looks like it's for the thems, but not for the me's. And the truth is, it is way easier than people think to be able to get on television, to be featured on Forbes, to be interviewed on a podcast like this. So let's go with I think. I feel like a lot of people want to see opportunities land in their inbox, but the truth is you absolutely have to be proactive first. You have to put yourself out there. And then once people get to know your name, once you start building the industry relationships, once you get recognized as the expert that you are, that's when opportunities start to fall into your lap. But at the very beginning, it's a super proactive game. You got to go after, okay, where do I want to be seen? Who's the person that I need to know? How do I reach out to them in a compelling way that isn't just like, hey, this is me and this is what I do and here's my course. Would you like to write an article about me? Because they don't. It's all about how do you do that with value and then leveraging that to continue getting in front of other people's audiences. So it's just the how-to. If more people knew how, they would absolutely get access to this kind of exposure.
Wait a minute, Lisa, could you please say it again? Could you please say it again? Say it again, because I'm going to quote you on this. I'm going to quote you on
I hope I can repeat.
I know, trust me, you got this, okay? If more people knew how, they would have gotten the results.
100%. One thing I've come into all the time is, a resistance against working with someone, to invest with somebody, to show you the how. And it's like, I can watch another free webinar. I can look it up on Google. If we knew how to build businesses off of Google, we'd all be doing it. So it's just about knowing the how and then applying that for the life cycle of your business.
But listen, I don't want people to get it twisted. I don't want people to just not get that information. They know how we do on the Ilirpodcast. We make sure that we plug our people all the way through the show, because my goal is to really showcase God's greatest creation, all right? And that's humanity and what they do in the area of expertise. So if anyone wants to find you, I don't want them to wait until the end of the show. Where can they go and find you? Where? Go ahead. Tell them, please.
Where's the best place to find me? Because you know what, I'll say where the best place to find me is. When you log on to Facebook, search the Build Your Authority online group. That's my Facebook group where I'm super present. I do a weekly live show every Monday. I film videos throughout the week. I do trainings in the group. I wish I could say Instagram, but no, I'm not doing reels. That's the truth. So if you go onto Facebook and look up Build Your Authority online, join that community. We've got about 500 members right now, so it's pretty cozy. I know who the people are, and we go into different strategies and tactics for visibility and really figuring out what makes the most sense for you.
Say that one more time so everyone can get that.
What makes the most sense for you? This is not about a cookie cutter approach. And I think that's one of the things we're seeing so much in the industry. It's just, oh, you A, B, C, and then done. But we're not taking into account that people have different personalities. Somebody may be a perfectionist, and the idea of going on live with a red light blinking at them is going to freak them out. And they would rather write and contribute content. You could have somebody who's like me, only child syndrome, throw me up on stage in front of 3,000 people and I will say, hey, everyone, put your phones down. I'm here now. Let's pay attention to me. That's not everybody. So we really figure out, okay, who are you as an individual? What are your goals in your business? And then I share different ways of leveraging other people's audiences, the thing you'll hear me say over and over again, so that you can get in front of the people you're meant to make an impact for.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to Andrew E. Guy and Lisa Simone Richards on the Ilirpodcast. And it's a podcast that's dedicated for those who are on the go, whether you travel by land, air, or sea. This is me, Andrew E. Guy. I'm excited about this conversation here. Simone, I'm telling you, there's so many people are all over the place. And you said it best, if we knew the how, we will have the result that we want. So I want to help some people, my listeners, to get the how. So for example, if a person is, let's say, an author, how would they get in front of the individual that they need to get in front of? Like say, for example, I want to be featured on Forbes magazine. What do you teach these individuals to do?
So I'm actually going to dial it back a second, because I feel like a lot of people are like, they just want to be on the holy grails. I want to be on Forbes. I want to be on Inc. I want to be on Entrepreneur. but is that where your actual client is?
Mhm.
Like, we have to be thinking about where's our ideal client paying attention, because you could get in the Globe and Mail or the National Post or the New York Times or the Washington Post. But if that's not what your client's reading, it doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of looking for buyers. So I always start off by saying, who's your ideal client and where are they paying attention? Have a conversation with them. Are they logging on to specific websites? Are they listening to certain podcasts? Is there a YouTube channel that a lot of them gravitate towards?
Right.
Maybe an influencer that they're following on social media. Understand where they're paying attention, because that's the place it makes sense to be seen, not necessarily the one that you would feel really cool about. And if that's your intention, if you're just like, you know what, I've always read Self Magazine and I'd love to see my name in there, awesome. That I have clients like that, and we make their lifelong dreams come true.
Wow.
But if your goal is sales, you got to be in front of your clients. So that's number one. Where are they hanging out? The second thing I have them do is, once you understand where they're paying attention, the next thing, you know what, actually, I'm going to take you through a formula. I have something that I call my 5P formula for positioning, publicity, and profit. And I think if I frame it this way, it'll be a lot easier for the readers to compartmentalize and take away. So the first part of the 5P formula for positioning, publicity, and profit is to pick your perfect client. Just like I was saying, who is that individual and where are they paying attention? What are their fears, frustrations, wants, and aspirations? Because again, people are only buying solutions to the problems that they have, not what the things you're making up and telling them that they need. If it's not an immediate concern, if it's not urgent, they're not buying. So pick your perfect client. Number two, you want to position yourself as the solution. So now that you understand what your client is struggling with, whether it's your book is going to support them, your coaching program, now you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself as the answer to the challenges that they're experiencing. You want to use their language. You want to talk about the frustrations. You want to take them on the journey of the pain of where they are now to the aspiration of where they want to be. So we're going to position ourselves as the solution as the second point. Number three, we want to pick our platform. Again, where's that person paying attention to? Podcasts? Or is it Instagram lives with somebody else? Are they in Facebook groups? Are they in masterminds? There's so many different ways to get visibility. It's more than just TV, magazines, Forbes.com. Like, there are a ton of different ways, even leveraging social media, to get in front of the right person in a way that positions you with authority and also doesn't necessarily cost you money. So we want to pick our platform, number three. Number four is to pitch for publicity. This is the part that I think a lot of people are lost on. You need to figure out who the gatekeeper is. So by gatekeeper, I mean, who is the producer of the TV show? Who's the host of the podcast? Who is the person who's writing the articles for this magazine or newspaper? Once you understand who that person is, now we got to find their email address, and I'm an excellent stalker. And then you're going to send them a request to be featured or for them to review your book, whatever it might be. But we're going to position ourselves with a ton of value, because remember earlier when I was saying, hey, I'm Lisa and I have this course and then I have this program. Can I come on your show and talk about it? It's like that. That's not value. That's just self-promotion. So we're going to pitch for publicity.
Hold on, Lisa.
Value.
I got to interject here, because we're heating up and this is getting too good. So I know they're wondering, oh my goodness. Listen, if you're loving what you're hearing right now, I want you to kind of just pause, and I want you to run, skip, hop, jump, fly, get over there to www.lisasimonerichards.com and take that quiz, okay? Go and take that quiz, because she's coming up with the last piece, number 5. Where you got to go? LisaSimoneRichards.com/quiz. Lisa, give it to them. Go ahead. I had to let them know what's going on. Go ahead.
And when you take that quiz, it'll help you figure out what the best way to get visibility is for you, because like I said, it's not a cookie cutter approach. Some things work better than others. So you'll take the quiz and you'll get your answer. So number 5 in the 5 Ps for positioning, publicity, and profit is, hey, we're all running businesses and we love making an impact and we love serving, and we also get to pay our mortgages and eat. So you got to have publicity for profit. Right. So how can you be intentional with the publicity that you're getting so that you are actually getting in front of the right people who want to know how to take that next step with you? So that's the 5th piece of the formula, and that's how we really go and get exposure and reach more people in a way that also furthers our business.
Did you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? High five, Lisa. Come on, put it here. Bam, right up top. I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a coach, if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a consultant and you want to try to get out there, not just with any audience, but you want to get in front of the right audience, the gatekeeper. If you want to kick the door down, I need you to reach out. I want you to get in touch with Lisa at www.lisasimonerichards.com, and then go there and take that quiz to find out where you are. If you need any help or anything like that, reach out to Simone, Lisa Simone Richard, and she will be able to get you on the right path in front of the right people. All right. So I know a lot of people are asking, who is this amazing young lady that's spitting out all of this knowledge and giving us all of these gems? Oh my goodness. Let me tell you a little bit more about her. Through her free workshop, master classes, and membership program, she gives you, as she's doing right now, the inside secrets on how to get exposure and reach more people without spinning your wheels on social media or wasting your money on Facebook ads. Are we not having the right conversation here, Lisa? Are we not having the right conversation here? Yes, we are. We're talking about getting in front of the people who are wanting you to solve their problem. Your solution on wheels. Make sure you're driving in the right direction. I'm loving it. So, Lisa, have there ever been a time where you have like a client there that it just didn't work out? It just didn't work out. Because when I look at my clients from a work-life enrichment perspective, I'm working with people on the front line. They need to get results now. Is there ever been one of those clients where you started off great and then the fit wasn't happening? You know, like my fingers are going together, this is a good fit, right? It wasn't fitting. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, so here's a real honest truth moment when it comes to asking for exposure. Nobody owes you anything. When you're paying for an ad, you are giving money and you are getting a result. When you are pitching and asking for exposure, when you're asking for access to a platform, you're owed nothing. So one of the reasons I've actually stopped doing done for you PR for people is everyone thinks their story is so interesting. And the reality is, if I remember this really specifically when I was working in a I wasn't in a PR agency yet, but they gave me this story, and they were sharing with me, I could have the best pitch and we could have a story ready to go on the front page of the newspaper tomorrow morning, and if 9/11 happens the night before, your story is gone. So the reality is that with exposure, you have to remember that you're not paying for this opportunity. So it may not be just exactly the way you want it because you're not paying for this like an advertisement. The best thing that you can do is work with the person who's creating content for their audience, really understand how they want to speak to their audience, do the best job to give them a whole picture as possible. But not every single pitch is going to get a yes. How many times do I pitch clients on television and there's this expectation that the first time like you should be chosen? It's not. This is a game for people who are persistent. So if you've seen an ad on Facebook about 6 weeks till you're sitting on the beach making six figures, drinking margaritas, I am not your person. But if you're the kind of person who's like, you know what, I want to build my reputation, I understand that I'm going to have to start creating this snowball. And then once I get one hit, then another will come and another will come. But that first media hit is historically always the hardest because no one knows who you are and they don't know why they should feature you because there are a lot of other people who do the exact same thing as you. So having that persistence is going to be the thing that separates the people who win with this versus the ones who don't.
And I'd like to add to, if you guys are listening and you guys are ready, remember this show is about listening first. A lot of people are hearing, but they're not listening, Lisa, because hearing basically is a function of the auditory nerve, right? If you have one of those and they're working, you can hear. But listening is the skill by where you take action upon the information that you heard. But a lot of people are not willing to take that action. So, Lisa, as we're walking through this now, we're trying to disrupt people's normalcy and we're trying to disrupt it in a way where you get so uncomfortable with the things that you normally do so you can do something different to get a different result. And you've heard it before, Lisa. I mean, why would you expect a different result if you're doing the same thing over and over and over? Now, I am going to raise my hand in the room because I have done that before. And I like to be transparent with my people on the show and let them see that I'm not just here as a host of this show. I'm also a student of life because I've also pitched CP24, breakfast television, all those things, right? And nothing has happened. I've reached out to several of the other individuals down there. Nothing has happened, right? But you're saying it's not so much about not being featured, but things may come up. You have to be persistent. But the thing that you said that really resonated with me is that if your clients are not watching BT, then who cares about being featured there? You have to know exactly where your clients are meeting. So if 95% of your clients are reading Forbes magazine or the Toronto Sun, then it would be beneficial for you to actually be featured there as opposed to being a big superstar just to scratch your ego. And at the end of the day, you can't pay your bills. So,
and can I actually make one quick distinction there, if you don't mind?
oh, you can jump in anytime. This is the concentration that we're having. Go ahead.
So this is something I really love to make a distinction for people. Something that I always talk about is the ABCs of visibility.
Yes.
So what I mean by that is there are typically three reasons people want to be visible. Either A, build brand awareness so people actually know that they exist.
Correct.
B, build a buzz so people are talking about them. So maybe you have a launch coming up, a book coming out, and you need to be heard about in multiple places, just like when movies come out, you don't hear about it once, it's all over the place.
Correct.
Or C, credibility. This is when you want your name to be said in certain sentences, when you want to be able to be recognized as expert status. So the distinction I wanted to make there is, if you're in this process of building awareness and you got to pay those bills, 100% you need to be where those clients are listening or paying attention to. Alternately, I've noticed some coaches who've already hit a certain level of success and now they just want to be really recognized. There's a power to getting certain media logos on your website just to say that you've been featured there, because it creates instant trust and instant credibility. So I don't buy magazines at the grocery store anymore the way I did when I was 18 or so. But if I see as featured on Cosmo or as featured on Self on someone's website, that's something that I've trusted my whole life. So getting featured on those may not, some of the bigger names actually don't necessarily yield the fastest results. But I mean, I'm sure you too, Andrew, when I'm looking to invest in something, if I'm going out for dinner, my friend wanted to go to one bar for dinner tonight. And I'm like, I've never been there. I don't know. Guess what I did? I Googled it.
Right.
And when people are looking at hiring you, working with you, especially if you're charging thousands of dollars, you are being Googled. So those credibility logos are highly important too, to influence people to be like, okay, I can see why this person prices at a premium level. They're recognized at that level, and I'm willing to invest and pay to work with them at that level.
So there's a win-win. So it depends on why you're doing. Again, you got to know that why. Am I just trying to get that credibility? Am I trying to be featured because I want to be know, like, and be trust? And is it about making sure I'm expanding my reach? So we also got to have those questions or answer those questions in our mind before we actually start to pitch to be on somebody's platform, right? So we got to have the right reason. It's not just for the sake of stardom, but we have to be intentional about what we're doing. Is that what you're saying, right?
That's exactly the word that was coming up in my mind over and over again. Intentionality matters. Why are we doing this?
Awesome. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to me for the first time, we're talking to Lisa Simone Richards, a PR and visibility strategist for coaches who want to get more eyes on their business. One of the things that I like what Lisa is saying, on the weekends, you can find her playing in the kitchen with her fiance and petting all the dogs in the park and watching way too much fashion and styling videos on YouTube. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that you got to do the same thing too? No, what Lisa is saying, that she's human. And when she's not working, this is what she does for self-care and making sure she's taking care of herself and her home so she can enrich her life. Did you hear me say that? Enrich. I preach about this all the time. Work-life enrichment. That's what I do. If you're not enriching your life, your work will not pay off and your lifestyle will not mirror what you're trying to do at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. So I'm so glad that we're having this conversation right now. Lisa, if there were any advice that you can give an individual who's trying to get some PR, get some visibility, what would those be? What would those be for those individuals who are coaches?
Yeah, the first thing I would recommend is Okay, maybe the first thing I would recommend is being clear on where you want to be featured and having that intentionality. So know, okay, I want to be on a TV show. I want to do a collaboration with this individual. Know that first. The second thing you can do is take control of the way you're being positioned. So many times I hear people say, I have to build a website or all. No, guys. We're all on social media already. If you want to be on breakfast television doing a segment about, the 5 best stretches for lower back pain, do an Instagram live video on the 5 best back stretches for stretches for lower back pain. Because you know what? When you reach out to a producer, you can link them to your IGTV and they can see how you translate on camera. So you don't have to sit and wait for other people to create for you. Think about how you want to be seen, where you want to be featured, and then start creating the content so that when you're putting yourself in front of these people, they can be like, oh, yeah, they really do know what they're talking about. So just start being intentional in creating content, because you know what? You're probably already doing it. It may as well have a purpose.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Now, listen, you talk about this workshop that you have coming up, and I want people to get some more information about it. I want them to just kind of get it in their heads that I have got to go and do this. I got to go and listen to what Lisa said, because Lisa got information that I need. So can you please tell us a little bit more about the workshop and how they can get the information about the workshop?
Yeah, so for any coaches or entrepreneurs who are tired of spinning their wheels on social media all day, perk up your ears, pay attention to this one. I host a workshop called the Get the Word Out Workshop. This is a free 2-day intensive training. Like, I'm talking 9 to 5, 2 days in a row. And this is where I take people through that 5P formula for positioning, publicity, and profit. So I share with them the different types of visibility, how to get clear on their goals. We get clear on what your message is, because you need to know what you're going to be saying when you put yourself out there. And we also talk about how to beat that imposter complex, because the thing that I see over and over again, I can give people the tools. I could hand somebody the producer Breakfast Television's email address right now. But the thing that always comes up is, who am I to put myself out there? Do I really have a worthwhile message to say? There is somebody else who's already doing it. So something that we actually work on as well is the mindset of putting yourself out there and reminding yourself of exactly who you are and what your unique selling proposition points are and why you deserve to have your voice heard. So that's something that I train over the course of 2 days. My goal is always to make that free 2-day intensive better than the last course that people have paid for. So for anybody who is interested in joining, we have the next workshop coming up on August 31st and September 1st. That's going to be at www.finallygetthewordout.com. So one more time, I know it's a little bit long, www.finallygetthewordout.com.
Awesome. Listen, you don't have any excuse not to go and show up, because guess what? Yours truly will be attending. I'm signing up right after this show right now, because I'm telling you, we all need to have some PR, and not just some PR. You need the right PR. I'm in the client service business. That's what I do. That's what I'm working with. Those are the people that I serve. And it's always a bonus to make sure that you can get in front of those people so you can serve more people. What's the use of having your expertise if no one knows that you're there? No one knows you. No one likes you. No one can trust you. It's time to get out there. So I want you to get out there, and I want you to follow Lisa. She's out there on social media. But Lisa, what I want to do right now, we reached a part to a show where we have what's called Think, Fire, and Shoot. I noticed the part where some of the guests, they get a little nervous, but I just, for some reason, I think that you're just going to do this thing, right?
Rapid fire, let's do
it.
it.
So let's rock and roll. Okay, so here's what I do right now. Are you ready? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have you come in, and then you're going to say your name. You're going to say what you do, like your byline. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on the Think, Fire, Shoot Island podcast. And then we're going to start off with the question. I got my other phone here, and I'm ready to go with the time. You get 15 seconds per question. But I just feel deep down that you got this. All right? So you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So I'm going to put you on the big screen, and I'm going to let you say your thing, and ready to rock and roll and go.
Hey, this is Lisa Simone Richards. I'm a PR and visibility strategist, and I help coaches get seen online everywhere. You can find me at www.lisasimonerichards.com/quiz.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Think Fire Shoot with Lisa Simone Richards. And
Did you see
listen,
how I warmed myself up and like answered that in less than 15 seconds? Like that was the prep.
yeah, you had that. You had that. I don't think you're going to have any problem whatsoever. All right, so the stove is lit, clock is red, and we're ready to go. All right, Lisa. So first question is simply this, 15 seconds on the clock. If you were about to give someone their greatest transformational experience, the greatest transformational experience, what is one thing you would not say to them? Ready and go.
Just learn and write a bunch of notes. I would never say that. I would tell them to put something in action and create and actually live transformation.
8.93 seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, she's cooking. She's warming up.
Can you tell I have opinions on this?
Huh?
Can you tell that I have opinions on this?
That's why we bring the experts. That's why we bring the experts. You know, if you don't, that's what I'm saying. Most people will have a script for the show, Lisa, and they have these questions that they go by. I don't think so. It's got to be this amazing conversation that is just fluid, that's happening. You know what I mean? It's not. This is not TV or talk show. This is just a real happening. That's what we do here on Think Fire Shoot. All right, clock is reset. All right, so Lisa, a lot of people always ask, where are you now? What you've been doing? And what was the turning point in your life that caused you to start doing what you're doing now? That's not the question. The question is simply this. On the highway of life, most people focus on the rear view mirror. But as I have stated before, on the highway of living, we should focus on the windshield ahead. What say she? Go.
Super important to understand the foundation, why things are the way they are and what's formed you and shaped you in a direction, but with that awareness, then use it to propel you forward.
8.17 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to turn up the stove here. Let me get that. Turn up
this
the
is why I love therapy.
It was on warm. It was, as we say down the south, it was on warm. It was warm. You hear me? So we just got to turn up the stove a little bit. You know, those beans, you know, they need a little bit more heat to get cooked. All right, reset the clock. All right. So Lisa, in less than 5 seconds, what would you say visibility is in comparison to PR? What is visibility in comparison to PR? Go.
They're the same thing. It's just different words. No, let's turn this into a teaching moment, though. I think there's a really cool opportunity to teach
I think you should.
So
I
the
really
first
think
P that
you
I shared
should.
was,
Go ahead.
yeah, the first P that I talked about was understanding your ideal client, their fears, their frustrations, their wants, their aspirations. Something that I do every single year, usually maybe twice a year, is interview my favorite client to understand the words that they're saying. So my background is in PR and public relations, publicity. Those are words that I use. My clients never say I need more PR, I need more publicity. They say I need to reach more people, I need more exposure, I need visibility. So I've just changed my language to match what they're saying so that they actually tune in and listen and connect with me. If I say PR and publicity, they're like, oh, that's for celebrities. So they're the same thing. I'm just talking in the same language as my clients.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had that was at a 23.65 seconds. So we'll just add that to her future. We just add that to her future appearances on the show. You can check us out when we do decide to do a live IG or something, or I might just pop up inside of her Facebook group, and we're just gonna have it out right there. So we'll just dock those times for future appearances. All right. So Lisa, what I want to find out, and it's a question that most people are asking. Simon Sinek wrote a book about it, you know, Find Your Why. But the question I want to ask is more for a more personal development, because I want people to not just listen to the show and be entertained, but be intrigued, and to listen, but also take action to change their life. Because if we're not changing lives, all of what we're doing is for, you know what, is in vain, right? So what I want to do right now is with the last question, has there been a time in your life where you had to make a decision? You had to choose, because one of the challenges I go through with work-life enrichment, people say I need work-life balance. Yeah, I will speak your language and I'll say, yes, you need work-life balance. But when I'm speaking to them or in my workshop, we throw balance out the door, because it's not about balancing or teeter-tottering and trying to figure out, because it's about choosing between one or the other. It's about an enrichment, right? Because once we're enriched, we'll work better, live better, longer, and serve better. So my question is this: has there ever been a time in your life when you know that you had failed on something? And what were the frameworks that you applied to that circumstance in your life to help you to become the individual that you are today?
It's a really good question. I'm not on 15 seconds, am I?
Yeah, you're still on 15 seconds.
Oh, shoot.
No, but you can take more than, because the last two questions are teaching moments. And so therefore life skills and lessons are applied there, and just make it happen. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? A time I failed at something, and let's be real and honest, was even in the last few months, just being honest with myself and acknowledging I don't love doing PR for people. I love coaching them on it. So I took that learning, went all in on creating my group mentorship program. And once I made the decision to focus and go all in on there, guess what started to work? My group program. So now I'm just very clear on listening to myself, paying attention to my intuition, and also looking at the business stats behind it, and then following suit and making decisions and not being afraid to change.
Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to us for the first time, that has been Lisa Simone Richards, the PR and visibility strategist, who is helping you to get in front of the people that you need to get in front of most. That's really what it is. We've had a fantastic conversation, but at this point in time, I want to give Lisa the last word. And if there's anything that she would like to share, even about her experience on the show or how she felt based on all the other podcasts that she's been on, not to compare ourselves, because we don't compare ourselves with anybody. We compare ourselves with who we are and what we did yesterday and what we can do better today. So I'm going to give Lisa this time right now, and I'm going to let her rock and roll. Lisa, take it away.
Oh, the energy on this episode has been absolutely amazing. If there's ever something that I can leave with listeners, viewers, readers, it's usually the same thing that I say. Don't just listen to all of this great information. That was fantastic. 40 minutes well spent. Now, what are you going to do with it? So take one thing that you listened to in the last, it doesn't have to be 5 things. Take one thing and actually put it into action. Is it doing the quiz? Is it signing up for the workshop? Is it talking to your ideal clients to understand where they're paying attention? But don't just let this have been really cool audio. Let it start creating momentum and transformation in your life.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the segment that is going to transform your business. It's going to transform your life. It is taking action and following those 5 P's. But above all, I want you to get out there and I want you to get more information, learn more about Lisa Simone Richards. That is at www.lisasimonerichards.com/ go get the quiz, and follow her on Facebook. Follow her out there on the Instagram. She got more information to help you to get where you need to get to faster, but also the right people. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been fun. This is Andrew E. Guy on the Ilirpodcast. I'm listening, I'm ready. Along with my guest today, Lisa Simone Richards. You take care and have yourself a fantastic rest of the day. Peace. Fantastic year. Until then, take care. Peace.
Until next time, keep listening, live ready, talk soon.